With Saturday's head-to-head house shows behind them, full focus was back on TV with both companies building up tonight's programs on surprise reveals built for months. WCW coming from the MGM Grand in Vegas with a promoted debut of a major player, while Raw will have Paul Bearer revealing Undertaker's secret after months of holding him hostage with it. Raw also 6 days from the Canadian Stampede pay-per-view, started with Ken Shamrock vs Triple H going 5 minutes. Heel Ric Flair was back to open the Hype Nitro from Vegas, coming just 2 days after the infamous Tyson Holyfield earbite fight in the same building. Flair cut a promo on Piper hyping up their now set first ever singles pay-per-view match at Bash at the Beach on July 13. Also in the first quarter, WCW had new Cruiserweight champion Chris Jericho defending against Juventud in 7 minutes, coming after Jericho beat Syxx for the belt in an impromptu match on Saturday's show after Syxx went 12 minutes against Rey Mysterio. With WCW opening with a 2.7 to Raw's 2.2 rating. The Road Warriors hyped their upcoming match against The Nation with Michael Cole making his TV debut as a backstage interviewer, going over to advance in the tag titles tournament, with Savio Vega returning post-match to confront The Nation with a new group, leading to a three-way brawl with the DOA. In one of the most hyped days of house show business of all time, both companies were building to the June 28 date for months since the situation was known of both shows running in the same LA market at the exact same time. Both companies put on big pay-per-view cards with every available top name in the business in LA on Saturday. WCW hyped the show big, promoting it as a special Saturday edition of Nitro, along with a first-time ever audio, internet broadcast on the company website with live commentary throughout the show, doing huge numbers with hundreds of thousands of listeners. The shows were also going against one of the biggest fights in combat sports history happening in Vegas with the Mike Tyson-Evander Holyfield rematch. WCW had Flair Piper, Savage Page and Outsiders vs Luger and Giant, while promoting a Hogan vs Sting confrontation, drawing around 11,000 people with a $190,000 gate, along with $82,000 in merchandise at the LA Forum. While WWF had Bret Hart's first match back in months after the knee surgery in a three-way against Taker and Austin, drawing around 9,500 people with a $150,000 gate, along with $72,000 in merchandise at the Anaheim Pawn. Ray challenged Nash to set up a match for tonight, with Hogan and Bischoff coming out moments later, hyping the main event later with an NWO vs Luger Giant and Page 6-man tag match. Rumors were going on for weeks on Mike Tyson potentially walking out with the NWO on the show with him also in Vegas, but plans ended up changing after the incident during the fight, coming 2 days after the infamous Holyfield earbite with wrestlers spoofing the spot on both programs. Raw had Mankind vs Brian Pillman going 9 minutes, with Steve Austin interviewed in the middle on Mankind as a potential tag partner, while on TNT the Steiners came out after hyping a confrontation with the Outsiders since last week. Scott said that they never lost the belts and went through every tag team in the last 5 months to get a shot again, calling out Hall and Nash, with Rick saying that they're not leaving until they come out. Hall and Nash with almost the entire NWO came out, with Hall holding a contract for the match, ending up with the Steiners signing and Hall revealing that they will have to go through Chono and Muta before getting a title shot. Paul Bearer came out a few minutes after the top of the hour for the hyped secret reveal, Bearer started the story going back 20 years to a family-owned funeral home he worked and lived at, with the family having 2 kids. One of them was Taker and the second named Kane, in the first mention of his name on TV. Bearer said that Taker's father taught him everything he knows while Kane followed Taker in everything he did, as both were running around the place, with Bearer catching them playing with chemicals in the embalming room. As he returned home one night, all he saw was smoke, fire trucks and ambulances as the funeral home burned with the entire family dead, while he looked over seeing Taker hiding outside, closing the promo saying that he's a murderer that killed his family. The segment going up against a 6-man Horseman vs NWO tag match, gained over 600,000 viewers to a 2.8 rating against WCW's 3.2, the closest margin of the night. In another attempt to boost viewership, the company promoted a $1 million giveaway competition with the first clue revealed tonight, set to conclude at the SummerSlam pay-per-view in August. Raw had the second semi-finals of the tag team tournament with Owen and Bulldog going over the Headbangers to advance to the finals against The Nation, while Bret Hart, said to be in Calgary, hyped the pay-per-view Sunday in the strong Canadian crowd reaction expected on the show. With the mystery debut yet to be revealed almost an hour and a half into the show, a limousine was shown arriving at the MGM Grand. As the show returned from a commercial break, Raven was shown sitting in the crowd, making his WCW debut after signing from ECW, with the announcers wondering if he's the promoted Impact player set to debut, while acknowledging him as a former world champion with other organizations without mentioning the name. The quarter, which also included Jarrett vs Konnan for the US title, picked up around 500,000 viewers to a 3.5 rating. "20 minutes after Bearer's reveal, Undertaker's response was next in a promo unlike anything seen in his career so far. Taker confirmed that the story is true as his family burned to death in the funeral home, but Bearer didn't reveal all the facts, saying that after their father caught them touching the inflammable liquids, his father punished him and he never did it again, but as he left the home one day he saw Kane coming out of the embalming room, with the house in flames when he returned, revealing that Bearer dragged him into the funeral home to see his family in an image that he will never forget, closing the promo saying that he's gonna strike him down. Moments later, Taker ran out during Vader's match screaming at Bearer to tell the truth, with Bearer revealing that it was Kane who told him as he's alive. The Taker promo and Bearer reveal peaked the night for Raw with a 2.9 rating, with the storyline overall showing interest with Bearer and Taker drawing the 2 highest rated segments of the show. Nash and Ray was next, with Ray running out to start fast with Nash selling big until taking control and going over with the powerbomb. The match was talked about for weeks as Nash mentioned on media interviews that he would like to work a match with Ray, along with their history with Nash famously throwing him into a trailer last summer at the start of the NWO run. Post-match saw Konnan come out and turning on Ray in an injury angle, teasing joining the NWO minutes after Flair kicked Jarrett out of the Horseman. Steve Austin returned to Raw after a week out against Jim Neidhart, going 11 minutes in the main event. As the match was going on with Ken Shamrock watching backstage, Bret Hart showed up attacking Shamrock before going to the ring, taking out Austin with the ring post figure 4 with Mankind and the Hart Foundation coming out in the Go Home segment to Canadian Stampede, with the unique atmosphere expected on Sunday hyped throughout the show as one of the pay-per-view selling points. The main event saw direct turnover of viewers as the Austin Neidhart match dropped to a 2.4 while WCW's Big Star Power main event jumped over 800,000 viewers to a show peak 4.1 rating. Ending up with Savage Hall and Nash as the NWO team against Luger, Giant and Page, brawling all over the ring until a fake Sting was shown in the crowd and the real Sting dropped from the ceiling, walking towards Hogan and the NWO until finally, after over 2 hours with the show 2 minutes into the overrun, the hyped major player came out as Curt Hennig walked to the ring with Raven jumping the guardrail at the same time, ending up in a cliffhanger with the 2 new signings and a face-off with Hall, Hogan and Nash to close the show.